Welcome to the video. It's me, Ciara, aka Ciara in the bonus, and we are here live on Twitch. Make sure you guys drop a follow to the Twitch to pull up to the live stream and be a part of the conversation. I love to hear feedback from you guys and kind of y'all thoughts on the songs. Now, one of you guys recommended me to check out Untitled live. I'm assuming this is Untitled 1. I did listen to this project. However, I've never reacted to any of the live performance. So we're going to kind of analyze some of the lyrics, number one, because I haven't heard this song in particular in a long time. My favorite song off of this project was Untitled 2 and Untitled 7. Those are the ones I listen to the most. So maybe I have a different perspective listening to it now. I'm going to pull up the lyrics and kind of check it out. But I really love to analyze how Kendrick performs live, because he does a lot of things like vocally and musicality wise that I feel like should kind of be pointed out. So we're gonna check it out. Let's see what he does. Let's see what the band does. Hold on. We're gonna go ahead and check it out. Oh, this isn't the video. Okay. All right.
When I went back home, I was trying to spit my best game to her, give her my best cap, but she kept on snapping her fingers like. I said, you know what, girl?
I hope this is Untitled 1. I hope this is it.
You crazy.
The thing is, like, I can't remember I can't remember the number of the songs in this project. I remember how they sound, but I have no idea, like, oh, this is Untitled number blank. Like, I just don't remember. I mean, obviously, because it don't have a title, but like, yeah, it's just, I can't even remember. I'm looking at the lyrics, and we're gonna see if this is right. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see.
Then she asked me what he said. A peace of mind, that's what the Asian said. I needed divine intervention, was his religion, and now it's a.
Oh nah, hold on guys, they got me messed up with the lyrics. Nah, I know this song. No, this isn't it. My bad, y'all. They didn't tell me which. There we go. This is Untitled 3. See, that's why I wasn't trusting the Untitled in the title, because I was like, nah. There's no way this is Untitled 1. It doesn't sound like it. All right, let's go back. Nah, I'm honestly interested in kind of like analyzing this, because when I heard this, how old was I when this came out? I was like 15. I was like 15 when I heard this. I don't know if I'm gonna do a re-listen to this per se, but I might gotta go back and re-listen to some of the bigger songs off this project. But we're gonna start with this one. Okay, Untitled 3.
A peace of mind, that's what the Asian said. I needed divine intervention, was his religion, and now it's surprise. And believing in Buddha, me believing in God. Asked me what am I doing, he said taking my time. Meditation is a must, it don't hurt if you try. See, you're thinking too much, plus you're too full of yourself, worried about your career. Ever think of your health?
That's deep, bro. Okay, so clearly in this song, he's kind of giving us a window into him as he's traveled the world and experienced other cultures. And we hear Kendrick over the years talk about meditation. So this clearly was around that time period where he was introduced to that, in kind of a different mentality, right? And as a person that's kind of studied Eastern spirituality and kind of delved into those perspectives, it is a common theme where, like, there you focus on like yourself more, improving yourself first, rather than like focusing on external things like let's just say like career, things like that. It's like they go from the inside out. If you want to evolve, you work on yourself, and you kind of take a look into yourself. You go internal. Here in the US, the West, so to speak, we go external to internal, and it has some negative effects, right? So it's almost like a backwards way of thinking, right? Because that's what he's saying, right? Um, he asked the guy, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm taking my time." That patience is such a big thing, and I feel like, especially when you meditate, it definitely rewires your perspective on things once you learn that virtue. They always say patience is a virtue, but it's like here it's just kind of a saying, but in the Eastern spirituality, it's kind of like a way of life. So it's like you kind of adopting some of those beliefs and ideals can really help you heal from the inside out and focus less on the things you can't control. And the ego is such a big thing in their culture in terms of like controlling your ego or your ego leading you to doing certain things, right? Where here, our society like glorifies the ego, even though it's a Christian society. If you look at the people that are exalted, it's really a lot of ego, narcissism, selfishness, and being only focused on external things. There's a lot of that goes on in our society versus kind of a way of doing things there. It doesn't mean that that doesn't exist in the Eastern side, but philosophically, it is something you want to avoid, within their culture, spirituality versus here we're on the complete opposite end of the spectrum where it's encouraged to be that way. See, this is why like I have to re-listen to Kendrick's projects now that I'm older and experience some things like because when I heard this, I feel like I heard it surface level, but now that I've, because I was like 15, I was into spirituality and things like that, but my perspective at that time is way different than now. I think probably at 15, I probably just start learning about what meditation was. Maybe towards when I was like 17 or 18 is when I actually start meditating and studying Eastern spirituality and things like that. Up to now, I understand a whole different like perspective than I had at that time. So it's kind of interesting to kind of like just look at that and break it down, so to speak, or understand kind of what he's getting at a little more and how confronting that different approach to life is very like jarring. But that line right there, he said, "See, you thinking too much, plus you're too full of yourself, worried about your career. You ever think of your health?" Right? Because like for us, like we'll sacrifice our health for our career a lot of time. It's actually encouraged. That grind set, so to speak, grinding at all costs, especially at the cost of your health. But that's one thing you can't get back. You can get money, you can get status, you can get all that, but you can't get your health back once it starts teetering. Mentally and physically. None of that money or clout status, none of that matters when your health is compromised. And I'm sure that's something that he realized like over time. So let's see what the next verse is talking about.
Too much, plus you too full of yourself, worried about your career. Ever think of your health? A piece of land, that's what the Indian said I needed the man. Telling me longevity's in the dirt. Buy some property first, profit a better dollar with generational perks. Equity at its best, really you should invest. These tangible things inspire, don't you expect? Income with so much outcome, and yes, look at my heritage, we blessed.
Now I wonder, okay, interesting. It's like different cultures giving advice and different perspectives now. Not to be stereotypical, but I'm trying to understand the perspective that he's coming from with this, right? So when he's talking about the investing and the generational wealth, it kind of reminds me how like this is really like a lot of other cultures that are just not American. I mean, if you want to talk about like uh brown people, black and brown people around the world, it's a lot more communal. Even black people here, maybe those are some of our origins, but we've assimilated into this individualistic society. So we've lost some of those virtues. We've lost some of those, I guess, ways in terms of like how we operate. But when you think of Indian, stereotypically here, you think okay, they have a lot of money, can be really smart and pass down the businesses from generation to generation type vibe. So I kind of feel like that's what he's getting at, you know, where he's trying to get him to think about generational wealth rather than just like individualism.
A piece of nook much out.
Now let's list. Now we're at the black man. Let's see where he goes with this.
Yes, look at my heritage, we blessed. A piece of nookie, that's what the black man said I needed to push me to the satisfy my hunger. Do it all for a woman, head cut to a wall. We playing the peach. What you saying to me? He said, homie, come back to reality for a week. Power, cut on a new chick every night. I wouldn't be prouder. You should allow it.
That's so interesting. Really contrasting the priorities between the different ethnicities, right? And of course these are generalizations, but I mean, as a black person, if I'm thinking about our culture, not our culture as a whole, but like music, entertainment, what does it promote? And this is not just black people. This is kind of like a man thing in general, but like it is like at a heightened level here in our society and within our communities. I think that's undeniable, right? Everybody grinding so they can have money and bitches. So it's like they not even doing it for themselves sometimes. They not even doing it for their family. They doing it for the bitches. That's like half of their whole drive is some bitches. And I feel like a lot of reasons why that could be. I think it could be hypersexuality that stems from trauma, rather that be sexual abuse or just trauma in general. Trauma as a whole can cause these tendencies and urges that are rooted in some type of deficit, or it could be like it's a lot of things. I don't even want to get into like all the different ways that trauma can affect you, but it's just a fact that trauma leads to a lot of bad habits, and one of them just so happen to be hypersexuality. But then our society encourages the hypersexuality, and then when you have black men that have a elevated level of trauma, and then you take what trauma naturally causes with that hypersexuality and then how society encourages it, you add it together and you get a hyper amount of sexuality, a hyper drive to be driven by women and things like that. So I think that's kind of like what he's getting at, and it is an interesting contrast, right? This is coming from a black man that had trauma, that had hypersexuality, possibly sex addiction, that is encouraged by society, right, to fill voids. And it's like it's never enough. Even though deep down a lot of them just want to feel love, they're too scared of love and commitment, right? Because the prospect of having endless bitches seem a lot better. So it creates dysfunction in relationships and families, creates a lot of infidelity. If there is, some type of marriage, is very common and really kind of expected, because the temptation of the women, the bitches, is just it's too appealing. It's too encouraged by society. The lack of discipline, it's expected. So it's like, as a man, I would imagine you don't even feel like you're feeling like you're doing what you're supposed to do because you got this money. You're supposed to be swimming in bitches. You're supposed to have no self-control. You're supposed to, and it's interesting how that's just contrasted with the other cultures. But I do think it applies to all men. It does. It's a male thing, but I can't deny that it's heightened within the black community or black men in general. It applies to women too, in a similar way. But let's see what he says. What does the white man say? It's interesting though. I like how he's kind of giving verses with all these different ethnicities perspectives.
I wouldn't be prouder. You should allow it. A piece of minds. That's what the white man wanted when I rhymed.
I like that. He said, what did the white man say? Now I have to go back. And look at the other. I like that. I thought this was, kind of a play off of how he started it, right? In the first verse, he said, what did the Asian say? He said, a piece of mind. A piece of mind, like peace of mind, right? But then when he gets to the white man, what does he want? He wants a piece of mind, like a piece of what I have. It sounds similar. I think that's called like a homophone. Kendrick does that a lot. I love when rappers use literary devices like that, where, you got words that sound the same, but they're spelled different, mean different things. I like how he really like played off of that. You really got to like look at the lyrics, I feel, to catch that. But it goes from the Asian man saying they want a peace of mind, they want peace in their mind, to the white man saying he wants a peace of mind. Because, I mean, if we look historically, Europeans, when we're talking about colonization, they want a piece of what everybody else have, whether it's it went from their spices to their land to their people, and so on and so forth, right? So, and then he's now getting at how that reflects within the music industry, right? It's not slavery literally per se anymore, which it is in some cases, right? Let's be clear, modern day slavery does still exist, but in this context, the cycle is being repeated by those that are in power who are white, and those with the creativity that's being profited off of being black in this case. The white man's getting a cut of whatever he does, even though it's his creativity, his art. He can't even fully capitalize off of it because he has to go through a system that's ran by white men, right? So I think that's an interesting way that he's like kind of presenting this, which is, it just goes to show like the creativity he has.
When I rhyme, telling me that he's selling me just for $10.99. I go platinum for rapping, I do the company fine. He said it don't even matter. Make $1 million or more, you're living better than average.
See, and that mentality of winning and succeeding at all costs. I feel like at a certain point, the Black American culture cared about not selling out, but it became more and more accepted as people start making more and more money, which is kind of inherently the problem with a system that determines what's valuable, right? Even if a culture within the system says we value integrity, we value this, if you deprive a community of the most valuable thing, which is like money, which is connected to other valuable things, land, property, business, health, it's not just the money, it's the things that's connected to it. So if you deprive a community of that, there's always going to be people willing to sell out because they don't have control, or they aren't in control of the thing that's valuable. So there's always going to be people that's willing to sell out, even if they don't want to. But then the more people that succeed, other people see that they're struggling. They're like, well, damn, I'll do whatever I got to do to get that. So, he's kind of going through that dialogue. What if I compromise? Which means he still cares about not selling out to some extent. But the white man telling him, it don't even matter. You making more than the average person. So who cares about you selling out? It's like the longer you're up there making that money, the more you get desensitized, because that's kind of the mentality of a lot of those people at the top. They don't care about morals, values, integrity. That's for the people at the lower classes. That's what a lot of times keep them down there. Values, religion, all that. That's just tools to control the masses of the population. But if you want to get money, you start to see it's easier to make money when you start selling out and compromising. So it's like a choice you have to make. You will pay a price if you don't compromise. So it's like, it's a choice you're going to have to make, like, as anyone that wants to be successful.
You're losing your core, find lies. He said it don't even matter. Make $1 million or more, you're living better than average. You're losing your core, following, gaining it all. Put a price on my talent, I hit the bank and withdraw. Hit the bank and withdraw. Hit the bank and withdraw. Put myself in a rocket ship and I shot for the stars. Tell me what you accomplished and what he said to the bar. I'ma make you some promises that you just can't ignore.
You see what I'm saying? And listen to his vocals and the dynamics, how he's building the tension, with the way he's delivering everything. But it's such an interesting, what I'm saying, like, delivery in way that he's putting it, right? He said, you're losing your core following, gaining it all. I love that contrast between, like, you're losing your core following. They're who got you there, but you had to compromise to get more money. And then it's tough because there is what we could call the black tax, right? When you're black, statistically, you're coming from an environment with negative net worth compared to other ethnicities. So when you succeed, not only are you paying for yourself and your lifestyle, you end up paying for family's lifestyle. So it's like, dang, like, if I'm maintaining this lifestyle, I got to make sure my family good too, if you're a person that thinks like that. That cuts down on how much you're taking in yourself because you gotta take care of your mom. You gotta take care of your dad. You gotta take care of your siblings, your family, your cousin. So it's like the money's going to so many places that it justifies you compromising because you're like, well, dang, I gotta take care of people. That's the part that makes it a little more complicated and nuanced because rarely when it comes to black people or people from oppressed communities is it just about them getting the money for themselves, you know? Because maybe certain other communities with a higher average net worth, they don't have to worry about taking care of this and that family. Their family's good, so when it's them getting the money, it's just going to them. But when it comes to black people, black and brown people, it's a lot more feeding other people. Whereas in another community, their parents might have helped them get where they got. Versus in the black community, your parents can't afford to help you get where you're going. And you have to take away from whatever you get to make sure they're good, which makes it to where you need to make more to compensate for taking care of more than just yourself. So that's the part that just kind of complicates it. But he put a price on my talent. I had to bank and withdraw. So it's like there really is no price on the talent, but you know, it's like, oh, this is what the market says you're worth. So, you know, you can make this amount of money. And then I like how he put a price on my talent. I hit the bank and withdraw. Right? That little line right there, I feel like it's so powerful just the way he delivered it. He just talking about the depths that these labels are getting a cut of the artist. Not just the songs, you giving up the masters, your right to your music. They getting a cut of the tour. You know, it's like, it's deep. And when you're coming from nothing, you're way more willing to give that away. You don't realize the value of it until later. It's like if you, and that's the predatory part about the music industry right there. Terrence Martin, wait. I reacted to a song with Kendrick and Terrence Martin. Y'all go check it out. Kendrick Lamar Reactions playlist.
I holler what you do, what you say. I shall enjoy the fruits of my labor if I get free today. But now, I holler what you do.
Okay, this is different. Is that Anderson .Paak?
I shall enjoy the fruits of my labor if I get free today. And wise, I holler what you do, what you say. I shall enjoy the fruits of my labor if I get free today. Thundercat, I holler what you do.
Oh, Thunder. See, okay, I should have been able to tell that was Thundercat. Thundercat has such an interesting signature sound. Like, I wasn't even thinking about who was back there, but it's like I could definitely tell that's Thundercat now. Love Thundercat. Amazing artist.
What you say? I shall enjoy the fruits of my labor if I get free today. What the black man say? Tell him we don't die. Tell him we don't die. Tell him we don't die. We multiply. Tell him we don't die. Tell him we don't die. Tell him we don't die. We multiply.
And there's so much like conviction in like his voice. Like just the way he uses his voice is so like powerful. Like I feel like some rappers are like they have this like aura of like being too cool. They're not trying hard. They're laid back. They're, you know what I'm saying? But Kendrick just isn't afraid to like express himself. Like, and that's refreshing because that's how art should be. You shouldn't be thinking about, you know, trying to keep some persona, you know, we want to hear the emotions. Like, I guess if that's the way you portray yourself, cool. But like, I want to hear the emotions in somebody's message and what they're delivering. So that's one thing I always love about Kendrick. Dang. Now, y'all let me know what other songs we should check out. You know what I'm saying? It's so many. Y'all gave me a lot of recommendations. I don't know, man. Y'all let me know. Make sure y'all drop a follow to the Twitch to come to the live stream and be a part of the conversation. Of course, let me know what you think in the comments. What other songs should I re-listen to from Untitled and Unmastered, like to, kind of do a little analysis? Y'all let me know. As for this, it's even more profound than I remember it being. I mean, this is why it's good to just like re-listen to the music. You guys can also hit me up on my socials. The link tree with all my socials is also pinned in the comments. You guys can tag me on Twitter or send me posts or whatever y'all want me to react to. But you know what I'm saying? This was good, bro. This got me excited to like re-listen to Kendrick's albums and all that. Go check out the other Kendrick reactions and the Kendrick Lamar reaction playlist. Or if y'all got any other artists y'all want me to check out, let me know. Make sure I leave a like, comment, and subscribe. But until next time, you guys, we're outie.